Hello Power Fam. Today we'll learn on how to multiply and divide by powers of 10. We're also going to be solving lots of questions, so stay till the end of the video. You can write the numbers 10, 100, 1000 and so on as positive powers of 10. So you can write 10 as 10 to the power of 1, 100 as 10 to the power of 2, and 1000 as 10 to the power of 3. And you can write the numbers 1 divided by 10, 1 divided by 100, 1 divided by 1000, and so on as negative powers of 10. So you can write 1 divided by 10 as 10 to the power of negative 1, 1 over 100 as 10 to the power of negative 2, and you have guessed it, 1 divided by 1000 as 10 to the power of negative 3. Before we move on our exercises, there are two important key points to remember. Number one, multiplying a number by 1 over 10, 1 over 100, 1 over 1000, and so on is the same as dividing the same number by 10, 100, 1000, and so on. Number two, dividing a number by 1 over 10, 1 over 100, 1 over 1000 is the same as multiplying the same number by 10, 100, 1000, and so on. Let's look at some examples. Let's solve 2.5 multiplied by 10 to the power of 3. So start by writing 10 to the power of 3 in the full, which is as 1000, and then multiply 2.5 by 1000 and you get 2500. Let's move on to B. 12 multiplied by 10 to the power of negative 2. So start by writing 10 to the power of negative 2 as 1 over 100 and multiply 12 by 1 over 100 and you get 0.12. Let's move on to C. 365 divided by 10 to the power of 4. So same thing, 10 to the power of 4 is equals to 10,000. 365 divided by 10,000 and you get 0.0365. For D, 10 to the power of negative 3 is equals to 1 divided by 1000, 0.45 divided by 1000, and as we learned in the key point, when we divide by a fraction, you multiply it by the number. So 0.45 multiplied by 1450. For the next exercise, you have to match each decimal with the correct fraction and power of 10. So pause the video and solve this question and play when you're done solving. A 0.001 is equivalent to 1 over 1000. So you know this by seeing how many times you've moved the decimal. So the decimal was here, 1 over 1000, and you moved it 3 times to the left to get 0.001. B, same method to get 1 over 10. C, you can see the decimal has moved 5 times, and 1 over 100,000 has 5 zeros. So this is going to be matched. D 0.01, 1 over 100, and E 0.0001, 1 over 10,000. Now let's match the fractions to the power of 10. So as you can see, all the power of 10 is in negative form because it's equivalent to fractions. so it's a small form, so it's not a positive power. 1 over 1000, so you can see there are 3 zeros, so it's going to be 10 to the power of negative 3. 1 divided by 10,000, 4 zeros, so 10 to the power of negative 4. 1 divided by 10, it's easy, 10 to the power of negative 1. 1 divided by 100, 10 to the power of negative 2. And lastly, 1 divided by 100,000, 10 to the power of negative 5. Work out 9 divided by 10 to the power of 0. Now for this question, I'll leave it to you guys to answer and comment it down in the comment section below. Just a tip here, any number to the power of 0 is equal to 1. This is Laura, and she says, when you multiply 3.2 by 10 to a negative power, the answer is always smaller than 3.2. Is she correct? Let us see. So 10 to a negative power, let us choose the smallest number, which is 1, and multiply it by 3.2. So 10 to the power of negative 1 is the same as 1 over 10, because 10 is dividing by 10, which gives us 1 over 10. And we multiply that by 3.2. So this situation right here is the same as 3.2 dividing by 10, which gives us a smaller number than 3.2, 0.32. So Laura in this case is correct. So any number multiplied by 10 to the power of to a negative power is going to be smaller than the number you started with. If you learned something new today, please do subscribe our channel and watch more of our educational videos here.